So now we're going to talk about investing, and this topic can be really exciting. Like there's a lot of really cool stuff that goes into investing, but honestly, it can be completely terrifying as well. Investing is commonly associated with, you think about risk. You hear a lot like it's gambling, right? Investing is like gambling. You've heard stories of the 2008 financial crisis and people losing all their money, right? The housing crisis, maybe they had real estate and then they went bankrupt or they had to foreclose, right? The pandemic, COVID-19, the markets have been very crazy. The unemployment claims have been through the roof. I think we're at about 14% unemployment right now as of the filming of the video, which is way higher than it's been in decades. All of these events that happen, they cause a lot of fear. And they really have, studies have shown that they dictate our behavior and how we treat investing. And the millennials that I know and have worked with, they're still scarred from the 2008, 2009 financial crisis. They're afraid to put their money in there because they don't want to lose it all, with good reason. And so we want to help you kind of understand and uncover some of the basics about investing so it doesn't have to be just this black box, right? Just like this risky thing, a gamble, you put your money in, you hope it gives you a return. We want to teach you so you understand what are the different mechanisms at play so you can invest appropriately and confidently, as you move throughout your life.
A lot of that fear from 2008 is they ended up losing half of their money, some of them even up to 60%. Today, they're maybe back to where they were 12 years ago. So it's taken 12 years for their money to grow back to where it was. So it is a very scary and challenging thing. Something to keep in mind is only invest in things that you know, that you're aware of, that you understand. When you start investing in all sorts of things, you get caught up and tied up in not understanding what exactly is going on or what is being said about anything that your money's sitting in. So that's something to keep in mind, is choose things that you enjoy learning about or choose things that you understand, because that'll help you to mitigate that fear that you may have.
There can be a lot of manipulation in financial markets over the last many decades, right? Over the last century, there's been a lot of manipulation. So the government has put in place a lot of regulation to make sure that, investments that are being sold are being done honestly and a full faith, right? That they're advertising what you're actually going to be getting and things like that. But one of the biggest things I think that's important to understand the relationship, and we'll get into this more, is the risk and return, right? Everything that we do in life, there is a risk to doing it, and there's a potential return. So you can think about it in terms of an investment, right? You might hope that it gains 10%, but there's always a risk that it could also lose, right? Maybe 10%. Anything you do in life, if you go to college, there's a risk that you're going to spend that many years getting a degree that might not pay off, and then you'll have a student loan, right? But you also could get maybe a higher paying job in a career you love and have, a great return. So risk and return is not only in dealing with money, risk and return is in every aspect of life. And the higher the return potential, the higher the risk. So if you ever hear anybody talking about high returns with no risk or safe money and things like that, you can just run, because that's just not how things work, right? Things work in risk-return ratio. And so as we go through talking about the different types of investments, just know that emotion plays a big factor in how you deal with investments. And it's one of the most critical factors, as studies have shown, in determining your long-term wealth. And so we want to help you kind of get in front of some of those behaviors that can be detrimental and train you to be really smart with how you invest over the long term.
Something else is the strategies. And so we'll go over that as well. Not only the behavior, but also how to and things to be aware of.
So I hope you enjoy the module, and let's get to investing.